Today, I'm going to share with you one strategy for making money while you sleep. Absolutely anybody can do this strategy, and it's a strategy I do all the time, so I can't wait to show you. Thank you for letting me know about that.
No problem.
So strong, stable stock, closing the top 20% of the range, and it has to have, and honestly, you can make a ton of money by trading this way. Like day trades, as you see, those are fun, they're fast, but these are really cool. These are really cool because you don't have to have perfect timing. You saw in FTCH how it came above the 950 level. And because I waited like 10 seconds before switching to the stop, we missed our entry point and we weren't able to get into the stop. Those are still great trades to have, but you know, we're human. We can't always jump into a stock that fast and expect it to work out. So these trades, you don't have to be as quick. You can look at the chart, you can identify the criteria, which I'm going to show you here, and then you can buy in and sell the next day. The other part of it is if the stock doesn't, if the stock goes the way that you want, you don't have to monitor it all. And so this is great for people too that that want to keep working or have the jobs that might conflict with day trading during the day. The downside of this is if you are wrong, you don't have a ton of control over the stop loss. Or if there's bad news or something horrible happens, then the price can go down while basically without you being able to stop the loss. So that can be obviously really bad. If you follow the criteria though, it's extremely unlikely for that to happen. I'd say the only thing that can really cause that to happen is if some horrible news comes out about the company in the middle of the night. So let's say IPI, we invested in that, it meets all the criteria, but then they just found out that the IPI is scamming people, or they have a truck factory and they just lost one of their truck factories, you know, for some reason because it was transferred to another company because secretly they're going bankrupt or something like that, right? Bad news can kill any stock. And when bad news kills a stock, if we day trade it, we can protect ourselves from that loss because we're in the middle of the day. But when we hold anything overnight, then it can technically gap down on us, and there's not a lot that we can do there. So that's kind of the pros and cons of this method of trading. You can make money while you sleep. You can really put the odds in your favor. You can have plenty of time to take an entry point. And the downside is though, if bad news comes out, then it can cause you can't control the loss. And so that's why I recommend when you trade using this style. So when you hold a trade overnight, take 25% of the amount that you would normally day trade with. So if you would normally invest 2,500, if you normally invest 10,000 while you're day trading, only invest 1/4 of that when you're basically doing what I call the overnight swing trade, or the one-off swing trade, because you buy in the night and then usually sell before the market even opens. Okay, this is the pre-market swing trade. So only take 25% of your position just in case that gap down happens. Because if you're right, then you can get a big win on it, and it's probably the easiest trade you'll ever make. You don't have to be watching the charts like I am in like a trading class. You can basically like you'll have like 4 hours to make a decision. Can you guys make a decision in 4 hours? And when you hold a trade overnight, though, take only 25% of the account position that you normally day trade with. So if you normally buy 100 shares, buy 25 shares. If you normally buy 400 shares, buy 100 shares. And that will protect you for if the stock gaps down, because at least you won't lose as much. But you'll find that if you follow these criteria, then on a consistent basis, you'll make money overall. So strong, stable stock, close in the top 20% of the range, and it has to have a multi-day uptrend. Multi-day uptrend. And by multi-day uptrend, I'm talking about at least 3 days or more where the stock went up. And at least 1 day in the past 3 days where the market went down, but the stock didn't. So that's probably the toughest one. So I'll show you guys what that looks like as well. So IPI, the market went down on the 22nd. So if we look at the SPY, okay, look at the SPY. The market went down on the 22nd and on the 23rd. So let's look at IPI. It went up on the 22nd and on the 23rd. Okay. So what does that mean for us? Well, it means that this stock is resilient. So even when if the market goes down, which the market can definitely go down anytime, then this stock can still perform, which is cool. If you guys would have bought it here, then you would have got a gap from here to here. If you bought it here, like me, you would have got a gap from here to here. And so that's just money that you make overnight because it follows the criteria. And of course, it's never guaranteed, but you have a good probability. We're probabilities people. If we have a good probability of making money, we do it. Because over time, even if there's some losing trades in there, we're going to make money easily. Easy money. All right. Somebody sent me a chat. Wait a second. JR, you don't see the... Oh, I see. I'm so sorry. Here. Thank you for notifying me of that. Guys, if there's ever anything that I'm saying that's like not making sense, then please let me know. Okay, IPI. So while I was comparing IPI, okay, let's go to the flexible grid here. Here's our IPI, and here's the overall market. Now, I told you about how most stocks follow the overall market. So this is the overall market, went down on the 19th, went down on the 22nd, went down on the 23rd. Here's IPI. Went down on the 19th, but then it went up on the 22nd, and it went up on the 23rd. Okay, so when the market's going down, this stock's going up. And that just means that there's so much strength in the stock that it's resilient. So you guys would have gotten this profit from here to here. So how do you find a stock that went up in the last 3 days? Good question. Good question. So you can look through all stocks. There's a few ways to find stocks. I'll actually go over some of those. But basically, what we're looking at when we buy a stock and hold it overnight, or is we want to see this kind of strength while the market is going down. Because that means that if the overall market goes down, our stock can still survive. It's basically like choosing a warrior, or a lot of stock investors use the term racehorse. Like, we want a strong, healthy racehorse. And if this racehorse is doing well in the worst of environments, right? This is toxic when the market's going down, because that usually, kills the horses. But this stock or this horse is healthy regardless. So that's a sign right there that, hey, I can buy the stock and hold it overnight and probably be okay. So there's a few ways to find stocks, but probably the easiest way is to go to public, F through N, and then go to gap up. So hopefully you got that one, Danny. To find some stocks, you can go to gap up, and then you can just look at these stocks and you can add them to your watch list to find your own stocks. Or you can just wait for me to kind of do the work for you, and that's totally fine as well. So I'll tell you about stocks. You guys hear about the stocks I tell you about each day. Those stocks, when they meet the criteria or when they're on the trading plan, those are stocks which you can consider implementing some of our strategies on. Yeah, gap up. Perfect. Thank you, Danny. All right, Danny's gonna start making some money. And what else do I have for you guys? Okay, so these are the criteria. Hopefully everybody wrote this down, but if you didn't, as you know, all pro students get these videos as well, so you can review it as many times as you need. So the overnight swing trade, strong, stable stock, closing the top 20% of the range, have a multi-day uptrend, greater than 3 or more. That is an uptrend for 3 days or more when the stock went up. And there's at least one day in the past 3 days where the market went down, but the stock didn't. So IPI met all those criteria, and that's why I invested in it, and that's why I made money while I sleep, and while you can too if you apply these criteria. IPI, we want to get in when the price holds above $51.
Okay, thank you.
And we're going to put a stop at $49.83.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
You got it.
Stop in top of range.
So remember OXY? So OXY, oh, you were up $6 a share. I got to show you how to sell, Francis. So sometimes when I put a stock on the trading plan, and not every time. So I'm not saying to do this every time, but rather think about which stocks that I'm showing you, and think about what I'm also teaching you in this private class. That way you can choose the stocks which it's okay to invest in the aftermarket, so that it's possible that stock can gap up in the middle of the night or in the morning, and then you can make money while you're sleeping. You guys want to day trade live, side by side with me, John Cota, your day trading coach? Well, if you do, go ahead and reach out to me on the Discord link down below, and you can actually join me and my students and day trade live in the market, where we take winning trades every single day.